Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. Nate and Josh are back here with some player props for you guys as we look at this Monday slate in the NBA. We also have an episode up with some best bets, looked at some sides, some totals, a couple money line plays in there as well. So make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Continue to follow along and get both of those episodes each and every weekday moving forward. Nate, let's go ahead and get right into your first player prop, a guy we didn't really argue about because I wanted to take him, but I was happy to let you talk about Ajay Mitchell.
Yeah, we were both going there, right? I mean, the Thunder are still down a few guys, and he's stepping up into the void. So I'll just take the points and assists here. Maybe tougher to get rebounds, although that's only adding 3 for the PRA against this massive Dallas team. But it should be easy to get into the paint and facilitate against Dallas. They're just too big, man. They're dead last in opponents' fast break points per game because they're just playing all bigs. They actually fixed it. I mean, Jason Kidd finally was like, all right, I guess I got to play D'Lo 30 minutes. Like, I guess I need a point guard. And they did that on Sunday. And you got to follow up on that now on a back-to-back. Expect to see less AD, if any, less Klay Thompson, which doesn't really help this bet, but no AD would definitely help in terms of rim protection, right? And then you get more D'Lo for AJ to match up with, especially if D'Lo's coming off the bench. So he's implied minus 123 for at least 15 points here. Interesting that the assists are so juicy when he's second in touches, potential assists, second in drives, and third in passes for OKC since the opener because there's no Caruso, no Dub. And Kayson Wallace came back on Saturday, but he goes 1 for 7 in 26 minutes. I don't know. I mean, that knee injury might have been more than we thought after he played big minutes in the opener. Somehow the Mavs, despite all this bulk, are the 8th worst field goal percentage inside of 5 feet. And yeah, they're giving up the 8th most assists per game overall and 4th most assists to point guards. And AJ is basically the point guard with Shea obviously doing a little more facilitating just because the ball's always in his hands. But that workload for Shea, man, through 3 games, they gotta tamp that down a little bit, right? And let somebody else handle the ball.
Yeah, whether they do or not, like he's up there in usage. I mean, the dudes coming off the bench for the Thunders like last season were all defensive oriented. None of them were like a guy that comes in and I mean, Caruso really awesome player. You're going to want Caruso out there over anybody. If Caruso's playing, not going to be as high on AJ Mitchell. But Kayson Wallace playing, the way that he got minutes when Kayson Wallace came back from injury and Caruso was still out in the last game, I was like, oh, cool. 29 minutes, even with Wallace out there. Sounds like they would like an offensive weapon off the bench. And they don't have J-Dub. Like, as good as J-Dub is on defense, he's your second most important player on offense as well. So, yeah, you're going to need AJ Mitchell to step into that void. Chet, I believe, is still questionable. That's like 15 shots, 16 shots that need to be dispersed. And again, that seems like the bulk of those would go to guys like AJ Mitchell and obviously Hartenstein, but before Kayson or even Lou Dort to a degree, who's just going to be spotting up for those threes. So love AJ Mitchell's ability to get into the paint. Love everything about this bet. I won't keep spending time on it because you covered most of it. Let me talk about another dude who's been awesome so far, Tre Jones. And Tre, it makes sense. Like this dude should be getting the minutes that he's been getting. He's been inserted into that lineup. When Kobe White out, he's been the PG. It does make sense that when Kobe comes back, if he's going to be more of a facilitator, all right, then we probably don't look quite as much at Tre Jones. But right now he's at 6.5 in assists, minus 140. And I'm not even scared of that because he's got 8 in both of these first 2 games, and he's got at least 15 potentials in both of these first 2 games. And 15 potentials does add up to 7 as a very nice number to get as his realized assists there. And we're talking about the Bulls and we're talking about the Hawks, who you both made fun of both of them and used them in your example as to why it's pathetic that the Magic have not been able to score this season when they've gotten these 2 cupcake defenses. Well, that still holds true. And Jalen Johnson still questionable, Kristaps still questionable, Risa Shea still questionable. They were all at shoot around. I still don't care. It's not like when they were in that they really helped the defense so far. I still love Tre Jones in this one. Josh Giddey questionable. If he does play, he's been in the first 2 games. It doesn't really matter. It's really just about Kobe White not being there and Tre Jones getting the usage and the offense changing a bit. When Kobe White's out there, we're ready to let him pull up and shoot. With Tre Jones out there, you know that you if you get ready and get open, he's going to find you.
Yeah, Matas Buzelis, preseason darling, little foul trouble, and then just took a seat the rest of the game on Saturday, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you get more Huerter out there instead of Buzelis, it's going to be more assist opportunities for whoever the point guard is, right? You just got a spot up guy against a Hawks team that is all sorts of discombobulated.
Yeah.
We got Ausar Thompson here, both
Welcome.
teams on a back-to-back, Detroit and Cleveland. But so let's take the young guy, Pogo Sticks, as we dubbed him, to get 7 boards plus money, coming off a game with 12 boards, averaging 26, 12, and 7 per 36 this year. Big time leap guy, was not healthy really all of last season.
Right.
Played still, though, because he's young, he played more minutes per game, 25 on back-to-backs, averaged 8.6 rebounds per 36 in those back-to-back situations. And this year he's spry, as I'm saying, 31 minutes per game overall, leads Detroit in adjusted rebound rate. He's grabbing 70% of available boards. Duren's going to be busy dealing with these double bigs, right? If Jared Allen goes, he's had a long history of struggling on back-to-backs, has Allen. If not, you shift Mobley up, Cavs go smaller. That is money for Ausar Thompson grabbing some boards. This is just not the same Cavs offense also, for starters. They're missing several guys on that end, but they just don't have the same charmed look that they did in the first year under Atkinson. So there's more available rebounds to be had here. Cavs are not going to have the same magic they had on back-to-backs either. And I just like the grit of this Pistons team. It starts really with this guy as just a very versatile, just like his twin, man. He's just out there filling up the stat sheet.
Yeah, no, I'm good with that with the boards. He's definitely taken on that role. Like when he was out there last year, he was getting the boards per minute. He just wasn't out there. And it makes sense. Like, why would you throw him out there in a season where you're like, cool, we got the 6th seed. Love that for them. It's good to get playoff experience. We're not expecting to even necessarily beat the Knicks. We'd like to. We think we can. But my point is like they didn't overuse this kid last year, despite the fact how much he could have helped them in a season where they were in the playoffs and in a position to win. He still was held back. And when he was out there with Tobias Harris and Jalen Duren as the other front court guys, boards for days for this kid. So it's not like those guys are stealing it from him. Duren, even with his 17 rebound game the other day, still left boards for Ausar Thompson. They get them in different ways. And Jalen Duren's doing his work in 24 minutes of work, right? So like it's not like he's always out there enough to take those boards away from Ausar. But this is the Reed Sheppard game. He's been at 9 points. It's funny because his first prop line was at 8.5 to open the season. Then the next game was 9.5, and he's got 9 and 9, and he went under in one and over in the other. And now I think this is the game where it's like we got Brooklyn, man. So we're gonna get some Reed Sheppard. I think we're gonna get Reed Sheppard a little bit extra tick here before the blowout, and when he is the man on the court, right? And it's like maybe him and maybe Tari Eason, and then like guys like I think and Farley Dante maybe is on the team, a little name drop, whomever's at the end of that bench for them, right? At the very end, they're going to get those minutes, I think, in like 6-7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And I think Reed Sheppard is commanding that unit, but I think he might already have 10 points because I think he might already be at like high 20s in the minutes range, because once they get that lead, like I think you're good with it, right? Maybe KD wants to come out and put like 14 on his boys in the first like quarter and a half, and then he can coast if he wants, because he did a lot of work the other night, as we know. And this is where you give some of those guys a break and you can go with Reed Sheppard, because I have nothing nice to say about the Brooklyn Nets. So my mom told me, just don't say anything at all, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at some fades based on the blowout factor, right? But Şengün or Durant, I mean, the Rockets have barely played, so these guys are rested. Right. They don't even have a busy schedule after this, only 2 games through Saturday. But yeah, I think you can take advantage of the fact that they barely played and say Reed Sheppard has only played like really elite defenses, basically, in OKC and Detroit. So he's barely gotten off the bench. He's gotten picked on the other end. And now he gets an opportunity to face like Yegor Demon, who's trying to work into the show that name again, because I mean, yeah, the Nets are not scaring anybody with what they're throwing at you. So he can actually stay on the floor, actually get some NBA run and try to get acclimated in his new role.
Absolutely. Yep. With all of that. So that's all the time we have for you in the Player Props episode. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Don't miss the best bets where we've got some sides and totals. Got a couple parlays in there for you guys as well. And until we see you next, happy betting.